Call this meeting to order. If you'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. We have all board members present. We'll move on to approval of the agenda for tonight. You have a motion to approve the agenda for the organizational meeting. Oh, it's a roll call.
It's a roll call first.
I did. Okay. We'll move on to a motion to approve the agenda for tonight.
I'll just give my motion.
So moved.
By Chad.
Second.
Second by Dan. All those in favor?
Aye.
That carries, I guess, 5-0, 7-0. Martha can figure that one out, since they haven't been sworn in yet. It used to be.
2-0.
We'll move on to the oath of office. I'd like to appoint Dan White as the chairman. Do I have a motion to approve Dan White as the temporary chairman?
So moved.
By Stacy, second.
I'll second the motion.
By Rich. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries 5 or 7-0. Dan, it's all yours.
Yeah. So
If you guys want to join elected members.
we all at once.
All at once?
How fast? Oh, just the news?
This is the new members.
It's everybody.
Okay. Yep, re-elected. Newly elected.
But you. Okay, everyone, if you would raise your right hands and repeat after me. I affirm that I will support Constitution of the United States and of this state. And that I will discharge faithfully the duties of office of school board member. Of Independent School District 719. To the best of my judgment and ability.
Thank you, Dan. With that, we'll move on to the election of officers for the calendar year 2015. With that, I'll start. We'll open up nominations for chair. And with that, I'd like to nominate Stacy Ruel. Do we have any other nominations? Seeing none, do I have a motion to close nominations?
So moved.
By Dan, second.
Second.
By Richard. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries 7-0. For the chairman, we have one person.
Yes, I'd like to nominate Todd Sorensen for vice chair.
Actually, if you fill that.
Yep.
Oh, we'll swap seats.
Oh, I'm sorry. I take over, don't
Yeah,
I?
you take over, but go ahead and,
I'm not ready to take over and write at the same time. Okay, so I have a motion out there. Is there a second? For Todd?
Second.
Chad? All those in favor? Oh. Any other nominations? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes 7-0. Last up, the clerk treasurer. Any nominations for clerk treasurer? I'd like to nominate Dan White as the clerk treasurer. Do I have a second?
second.
Todd? Any other nominations? Seeing none. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes 7-0. was Rich.
It was Chad.
Chad?
Was it you? Okay, I'm just gonna put you, okay, good, okay. All right, now everyone's changed.
Okay, here you go. Okay, all right, so now we're on to the consent agenda. These are routine in nature. Do I have to read them for the beginning part of this? I think I do. I think we've done that fast. Okay. Here's the following consent agendas. To designate the depositories for school district funds, Klein Bank, U.S. Bank of Prior Lake, Wells Fargo Bank, Commerce Bank, Deutsche Bank, Minnesota School District Liquid Asset Fund Plus, and PMA Financial Network. The official district school newspaper is designated the Prior Lake American of Prior Lake and the Savage Pacer of Savage. Those will be the official school district legal newsletters. The school district financial consultants will be the firm of Ehlers and Associates. The school district legal counsel names the law firms of Knudsen, Flynn, Deans, Ratwick, Rozak, and Maloney, and Roop, Anderson, Squires, and Waldsburg as the school district's legal counsel. The district auditing firm is Clifton, Larson, Allen, and Associates. And the assistant board clerk treasurer will be named Julie Sink, the executive director of business services, to perform the clerk duties of the board clerk treasurer as pursuant to the Minnesota statute. Also, we authorize the following persons to lease, purchase, and contract for goods and services within the budget. Dr. Sue Ann Gruber, superintendent of schools, Julie Sink, executive director of business schools, to lease, purchase, and contract for goods and services within the budget as approved by the board, provided that any transaction in the amount exceeding the minimum for which bids are required must first be authorized by the board and must fulfill the other applicable requirements pursuant of Minnesota statutes governing municipal contracts. That informal quotation be required when possible for all purchases exceeding $25,000. The designee, the school district special ed coordinator, federal programs coordinator, district LEA, and data practices compliant officers designate Doug Kern as the school district's special ed coordinator, Julie Sink as the school district's federal programs coordinator, Jeff Holmberg as the district LEE program, and Matt Mons as the data practices compliance officers. Also, we delegate the authority to make electronic transfers. The delegate, Julie Sink, executive director of business services, the authority to make electronic transfers, and in addition, the appropriate documentation from the financial institutions and proper request and approval form for the transfer and shall be retained by the executive director of business services. And lastly, we direct the administration to publish notification in the official district newspapers to publish the annual notification of rights, protections, and privacy of student records in the official newspapers of the district. Okay. That being said, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
By Dan, second by Todd. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes 7-0. Next up is the board compensation. This year, we recommend the same as last year. The current compensation would be $5,000 per year, plus $20 per meeting for the official standing committee assignments, the district-wide committee assignments, and the external committees and agency representatives. Unless otherwise, there's an appointment by chair with the exception of the chief negotiator, which would be compensated $50 per meeting. The board chair receives an additional $300, the board clerk treasurer receives an additional $200, and the board vice chair receives an additional $200 for service during the year. School board members are compensated semi-annually at the request of the individual member. Committee meeting reimbursement shall be paid once the completion of the year of service. This is the same as last year. I guess I'm looking for a motion to approve the compensation plan as stated.
I will make that motion.
Rich, second.
Second.
By Dan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes 7-0. Okay, next up is the board committee assignments, which I believe should be attached in your board. I have names on here. Those should be listed. You guys should have been able to see those in the board packet. These are suggestions. Do I have any discussion or comments or anything on anyone's assignments that they'd like to? Rich?
After consultation with some of the administrative staff on the amount of time, I was curious if any other board members would like to be on the Facilities Commission, or Facilities Committee.
So
Or
doing
we
a
can do a
swap?
swap or trade or whatever.
Yeah, we have in the past just done two.
Yeah, we have
and
done
we
that
don't
as
have a
well.
whole lot going on, and I think we may be at that point.
I would be comfortable with two
Yeah.
board members.
Yeah, because I know the building facilities activity
It's
will be
kind
an
of
issue.
done.
Right.
And if that's okay with the board as a whole,
Are you guys all right with that? Going down to
Absolutely.
two? Okay.
if I'm not on the
So then
facilities
we'll go down to two on that. Any other discussion? Seeing none, then do I get, I'd like a motion with the amended? Do we have to amend first? Okay, it was just a proposal. With the change as noted by Rich of coming off the facilities, do I have a motion to approve, as we talked about, the committee signs?
Do
Yep.
we need a motion and approval of this? Isn't this the chair's discretion?
This is the chair's discretion.
A motion, the second is requested. On amendment.
To prove it. So
To approve the committee assignments as proposed. So Todd motion, Chad's will second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that passes 7-0. Okay, next up is our just discussion. A number of years ago, I want to say we're in our third year, we changed the format of the meetings of our meeting schedule to be the first meeting of the month be an official board meeting, and the second meeting of the month be more of an informal workshop format. And I guess we're just kind of looking to see if that's what we would like to continue on. It seems, from my opinion, that it's been a nice workable schedule, and people are able to report and have good dialogue, I think, in the workshops. And so if there isn't any other discussion on that, or we can, that same format for the upcoming year?
Sure.
Okay?
I
Yes?
think there's one other point.
Yep.
I agree with you on the format. I would like to request that the administration make an effort that any presentations that are on the official agenda, that we be given those before the meeting for review.
I mean, the PowerPoint?
The PowerPoint presentations and
yes.
any of that information that's relayed to us.
Get it
That we
into
have a
us.
chance to look at it before the meeting.
Okay. So on Thursdays or Fridays when we get that? Right.
That's fine, yeah.
Okay.
Similar to the board packet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Right. Okay.
Could I just put it
Sure.
as possible? Sometimes it might be a shell. There might not be
Sure.
all the details to it, but certainly I think the context of it can be shared with you on Thursday or Friday, and if there's a tweak to it,
Yeah,
Right.
to Effort to make as much information.
Would there be notification that the packet had been updated then, if
Yeah.
it
Yes.
gets updated after the fact?
absolutely.
Yep.
And we often do that as new information comes forward, but just so you know, it might not be
That's
exactly
fine.
perfect.
Just effort to
Yes.
get as much
Martha will
information.
set you up with a board book. Yeah, it is that.
She'll email you.
Good.
There's no-
It's already set.
So then, if that's the case, with those comments, I'd like to get a motion to continue the format as is. Have a motion?
So move.
Ben, second? Chad? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, that passes 7-0. Next up is our in-service discussion. This is really just anything that you guys would like to see in the upcoming year as far as some in-service. One thing that we do have coming up that we're going to schedule a little bit later in the spring, I think, is just a meeting with Dennis Cheeseborough on board governance and, board direction and kind of goal setting, what we normally do our goal setting, but to kind of tie him in a little bit. and just for some of the new board members to kind of get familiar with that process and how we do our data retreat and everything. And so we'll have that later in the spring. We're kind of thinking, as things as things move along. So, but that's the one thing that we have in mind. If anybody has any other feedback or ideas or things that they'd like to see in the upcoming year, I mean, you don't have to come up with it right now, but always feel free to email me, and I can definitely get it on the agenda.
Sue-Ann, do you envision that doing the DISC survey or personality survey again with the different colors?
Yeah.
You never know.
Are your colors changing?
Are you changing colors?
I could.
I know.
I'm getting older.
I know.
We'll give it some consideration.
Okay. So we have the meetings, I think, set through June right now in your board packet, and we'll probably continue and look at that schedule. But, okay. I guess I'm looking for a motion to adjourn this.
So moved.
Melissa, second?
Second.
Todd? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes 7-0. Thank you.